Paramount, please make it happen. Hey everyone, Coolman1 here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about 5 reasons why I think Clifford the Big Red Dog should get a sequel. Yup, that's right. So, um, so I made a video on my channel about why I think Clifford the Big Red Dog is a great movie. But, well, I usually don't do this kind of stuff on my channel. Usually, every time I want to talk about a movie that I thought was really good, I just make a video about it saying that it was a great movie. But I never really talk about what could happen for those movie franchises in the future. I never really talk about a movie that I really liked getting a sequel or a prequel or just another movie in the franchise. I never really talked about that before. And this is actually the first time I'm talking about that. So, so I'm just gonna let you guys know something really important. This video isn't just to tell you guys all the reasons why I think they should get a sequel, but it's also to show you just how much I really enjoyed this movie. And when I say I really enjoyed it, I say it was beautiful, it was adorable, it was amazing. And I loved it so much, and I just want to show how much I care about this movie on this channel. I know I sound like I'm too attached to this movie, but besides Sonic the Hedgehog, besides the Sonic movie, I think this is the second best Paramount Pictures movie in my opinion. And this is another one of my most favorite Paramount Pictures films besides the Sonic movie, and possibly the second Sonic movie coming up soon. So, yeah. So, I guess you can say this is a special video because I really enjoyed this movie, and I just want to express more reasons why I love it, while also talking about the main thing that I'm talking about on this channel. Why I think this movie should get a sequel. Because after I saw the first movie, I loved it so much, I immediately thought, wait, there's a lot more things they could do with this franchise, the Clifford movie franchise. This entire, they can make the Clifford movie an entire franchise of more Clifford movies and just keep going. Because, well, I just thought it was really good. And, well, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that part later in this movie. Later in this video, where I talk about like more of the stories they can tell. But right here, before I start, I'm just saying how much I really enjoyed this movie. And most importantly, that I really want Paramount to make a sequel of this. So I really hope Paramount announces a Clifford movie sequel soon because if they announce it, I'm gonna be so happy, and I'm gonna make a if if a Clifford movie sequel gets announced by Paramount, I'm you can expect for me to immediately make a video about that right here. So, yeah, just know that I'll immediately make a video about that once we get news about a Clifford sequel, which I hope happens. And like I said at the very beginning of this video, I really hope Paramount makes it happen. So, yeah. Anyways, now that that's out of the way, let's get on to the 5 reasons why I think Clifford the Big Red Dog should get a sequel. Reason 1. It has a decent plot. And when I say that it has a different plot, I mean that I really thought the story of this movie was really good. And I don't know what happened because oh, I know I liked it, and a couple of other people who already saw it liked it too. But when you go to the Rotten Tomatoes website, for example, to see the Rotten Tomatoes score that this movie got, it it didn't do so well for some reason. It got like 50, I think it was 57% on on the Rotten Tomatoes score. And that's what really bothered me. What bothered me is how could people hate this movie when it was, I mean, it wasn't perfect. I get that some people thought it wasn't perfect, even though I really enjoyed it. But I guess people just had problems with Clifford's design and just the story. But the story, in my opinion, and also Clifford himself, of course, I really liked Clifford's design. I don't know why people hated it. I mean, what else can you expect from a big red dog? If they're making a live action movie about a big red dog, that right there, his design in the movie is exactly what he'll look like. So I don't know why people hated that. But you can't say that you don't like the plot of this movie. I mean, I thought the plot was really fun, and I thought it was really good. And I'm gonna read the plot right now, so you guys, hopefully, hopefully you guys, after hearing me read this, you'll you'll start liking the movie more. But if you don't, that's fine. It's just an opinion. But well, the plot is one of the main reasons why I really enjoyed this movie. I just loved how fun, exciting, and adorable it was. And well, that's that's the main reason why I want this movie to get a sequel. Well, one of the main reasons. So, the plot reads: when Emily Elizabeth meets a magical animal rescuer who gives her a little red puppy, she never anticipated waking up to find a giant 10-foot hound in her small New York apartment. With her single mother away on business, Emily and her fun but impulsive uncle set up on an adventure that takes a bite out of the Big Apple. And this right here is basically Clifford. This is the plot right here. And I don't know about you guys. I don't know about the haters of this movie, but I thought the plot is perfect. I think the plot is, like I said, it's decent. And I'm not saying there's a lot of people out there who hate this movie because I know, I know from doing my research that some people, at least a decent amount of people, like this movie because it was enjoyable for kids and it was fun. But people complained that it didn't exactly feel a whole lot like Clifford. And I understand that, but I mean, I know I never really read the books or watched too much of the show as a kid, but well, to me, this right here screams a plot for a live action Clifford movie, and I just think it's perfect. I mean, it's not exactly accurate to his origin or his backstory in the books or the show, but it's the perfect plot for a live action Clifford movie. Just a live action Clifford movie. And I think what they did here is perfect and they don't really need to change anything else. So if they make a sequel of this movie, they should, of course, spice things up a little bit and give us some new things, but also keep the same source material, keep the same things, some of the same things that happened in the first movie. But the point I'm making here is that the plot is decent for a live action Clifford movie. And I personally think that they didn't have to change anything at all. So, yeah. So, the second reason why I think they should make a sequel is because the first Clifford movie, believe it or not, whether you think this whether you think the Clifford movie was good or bad, it still ended up feeling like Clifford. I mean, sure, the origin story wasn't perfect. I get that the people that were working on the live action movie changed things up a little bit for the live action movie, and they did it on purpose because they wanted to give us a whole new origin story for the character. They wanted to bring in new audiences to watch this brand new Clifford that is totally different from the Clifford that we know and love. And at the end of the day, at least a decent amount of us are gonna enjoy this live action movie. But to me, it was decent enough, and it actually felt like the Clifford that we grew up watching and reading. It it's just decent. It still feels like Clifford, and I said this earlier in this video. The design wasn't too bad. And what else can you expect from a live action movie about a giant red dog? If you're looking for a movie about a giant red dog, this this design in the live action movie is exactly what he'll look like. And I'm and in my opinion, I'm not sure about you guys, but if if they if they changed him up completely to look like he did in the cartoons and the books, he probably would have looked terrifying. So I'm glad they made him look like an actual realistic dog. Just they just used CGI and made him red and big. But hey, he's a big red dog in his live action movie. And I think that's totally fine. Also, how can you not love this guy? I mean, just look at him. He's adorable. So, regardless if you liked his design or not, it was still pretty good. And I really ended up loving it. So, yeah, the design was definitely not a problem for me. And it's kind of weird to say that to everyone who didn't like this movie because of the design, because I really don't understand why a lot of people didn't like the design, but I took one little look at the trailer before the movie came out, and I already thought it was perfect and adorable. So, yeah, it's not exactly like his design in the books and the show, but it's still perfect. It's still really good. So, you should at least give it a chance. And my third reason is, and I'm sure you guys probably already saw this coming because I said this a bunch of times already throughout my movie about Clifford being a great movie. I said this a couple of times in the video, and I can't stress it enough. This movie was so cute. It was so adorable. I mean, every every scene in this movie that I see of Clifford and Emily it just puts a tear to my eye and it makes me want to cry because it's just so adorable. And regardless if you like this movie or not, if you're not a fan of Clifford or you just didn't like the movie, if you're not a fan of Clifford or you just don't feel like watching the movie because it doesn't feel like the Clifford that you know and love, you take one look at this, whether you like it or not, And you're gonna end up being like, "Oh, this is so cute." Even if you don't like it, at least it's gonna make you think it's cute. And well, you might just not be able to hold it when you see these adorable scenes with Emily and Clifford, and just how sad and how emotional and adorable and so family friendly this movie is. So, yeah, once again, whether you like this movie or not, these scenes will at least put a tear to your eye. So, yeah. And this this reason right here is the main reason why I really like this movie. I just loved how cute it was seeing all the moments in this movie with these two right here. I thought it was so cute, and I really hope that if this movie gets a sequel, we get to see more of this. And I almost cried. I didn't cry, but I almost cried when I saw all the scenes with these two in the first movie. So if we get a sequel and we get more scenes of these two, I I probably might actually cry in the sequel. Not gonna lie. But we'll see. We'll see if it happens. And yeah. And you can't say that this isn't adorable because this is the cutest thing I've ever seen in a movie. This is the cutest thing I've ever seen so far in a movie. And I really want to see more of this because seeing the adorable little Emily with this puppy, it's just it's just adorable. It's just plain adorable. And I really want to see more of this. So, Paramount, if you're going to make a sequel of this, please give us more scenes like this because I can't stress enough how much I enjoyed this movie because of this reason. Just how cute these two are and how emotional this movie was. It made it really exciting. Whether people thought it was good or not, at least they probably at least liked these scenes. So, yeah, I really hope we get this again in a sequel. My next reason is the first movie had great characters. And, well, I don't know about you guys, but the characters are another reason why I really enjoyed this movie. Not just how cute it was, but, well, the the thing that made this movie cute is two main characters in this movie, Clifford and Emily, right here on the top. Those two on the top. Those two were adorable. And they were the two main characters of this movie. But of course, there's other main characters which I'm showing right here. Under Clifford, we have Emily's uncle Casey, and right next to him we have Emily's friend, um, Emily's first friend besides Clifford, and next to him we have the villain of the movie, whose name I can't remember because I only watched this movie like twice, and well, I gotta remember the names of all the characters, but I know the names of most of the characters. But my point here is the characters were great. I just love how much energy the actors who played these characters brought out in the Clifford movie. And the reason I like the characters it's because of all the energy they bring out into their roles in this movie, and I love that. You guys probably already heard me say this in my video on why the Clifford movie is a great movie, but in that video, I said that I really liked Darby Camp's role as Emily in the first movie because of all the energy and excitement that she brings out in her roles. I remember when she played one of the characters in my most favorite Christmas movie, The Christmas Chronicles. She played Kate Pierce in The Christmas Chronicles, and I thought she was amazing in that movie. And when I saw the trailer for the Clifford movie and I saw Darby Camp, I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. Because I just love how she brings out all her energy into the movies that she plays. And just by how happy she looks and how excited she looks in every scene, I just know, I already know that she loves playing the characters that she plays in her movies, and that's why I think that she's a great actress. So, yeah. Also, I mentioned in my Clifford is a great movie video that she's really good at playing young characters. Like, she's really good at playing the character of a little girl, and yeah, and I think in real life she's like, I don't know, like 14 years old, so I don't know how that makes sense, but my point is she was really good as Emily in this movie, and I definitely I think if Paramount makes a sequel of the Clifford movie, we're definitely going to see Darby Camp again if she wants to do a sequel for the Clifford movie. I mean, she did. I mean, she was in the Christmas Chronicles sequel, so why can't why wouldn't she want to be in a Clifford sequel? I don't know. I guess we'll see if Paramount announces a Clifford sequel if Darby Camp shows up again as Emily, as well as the other characters as well. Um, I love Jack Whitehall's role as Emily's uncle Casey. He was really good at playing this character who was just totally fine with everything that Emily told him, and his reaction right here when he first saw Clifford when he grew into the giant dog, that his reaction made me laugh so hard. It was just so funny. And he is another actor that brought a lot of energy into his role, just like Darby Camp, and that's why I think he was perfect for the role of Emily's uncle, and he is another actor that they should definitely bring back for a Clifford sequel. And here we have the actor. Here we have Emily's friend Owen. I just remember his name. His name is Owen, and the character who the actor who played Owen. It was just really fun to see Owen's relationship and friendship with Emily, and he wasn't in most of the movie. He was like in the other half of the movie. He was like in the second half of the movie. But he still had a huge role in this movie. He was the one who told Emily and Uncle Casey where the park was, where they can find Bridwell, and he had a pretty good role in this movie too. So that's why he counts as another main character. And the last main character right here is the villain of this movie, whose name I can't remember right now. But if I remember his name, I'll probably put it in the pinned comment or something. Basically, I remember the actor who played the villain of the Clifford movie. He also played the villain in the last Alvin and the Chipmunks movies and the last Alvin and the Chipmunks film. And I really liked the Alvin and Chipmunks live action franchise. And seeing him play another villain in a CGI animal movie is amazing because seeing him play the villain in this movie reminds me of when he played the villain in Alvin and the Chipmunks Road Trip, which was the last Alvin and Chipmunks movie, and that's great. I think he did a great job as the villain in this movie, and he should, if he doesn't play villains in CGI live action movies about animals too much, if he doesn't do that too much, then he should definitely do that a lot more because he was great as the villain in the last Alvin and the Chipmunks movie, and he did great as the villain in the Clifford movie right here. So he should definitely do this more if he doesn't do this too much. So yeah, overall the characters were really fun. The characters were really fun to see, and if they make a sequel, obviously Paramount is going to have to bring all the main characters from the first movie. They're going to have to bring them all back for the sequel because that's how sequels work. Every time you make a sequel about a movie, you got to bring back the characters from the first movie and maybe add some new characters, some fresh new characters in there, and a new plot to make the movie more exciting and different. But to make it feel like a sequel, you got to bring back the old characters, right? From the first movie. And yeah, I really hope they bring all of these characters back. Well, except maybe the villain because he was only the villain for the first movie, and I'm not sure if we're gonna see him again if they make a sequel, but if they do, that's great. So yeah, the characters in this movie were really good, and I would love to see them return for a sequel. My last reason why Clifford the Big Red Dog should get a sequel is, well, I said this at the beginning of this video. It's because they they have a lot more stories to tell. So at the beginning of this video, I said that after they make after well, they just finished making the first movie. But what if they make an entire live action Clifford movie franchise? Like what if they made an entire franchise out of this and make a sequel? And after that, if the sequel does good, then they can make a third movie and then a fourth movie. And my idea is for them to base more live action Clifford movies after the first one off of the books or maybe some episodes of the show, because the books and the show offer a lot more Clifford stories that they can turn a lot more Clifford stories that they can turn into live action. They can give us in the sequel, maybe in the sequel they can give us a story where Clifford goes on a trip but he doesn't fit in the bus, so he has to um he has to run all to their destination all by himself because he doesn't fit in the bus. Or maybe they can in another live action Clifford movie, now that the city and the world is totally fine with a big red dog running around, maybe everyone in Emily's school can finally accept Clifford in Emily's school, and maybe he can join a baseball team in Emily's school, or maybe he actually goes to school, and the kids all wanna pet him. I think that would also be really cute, and yeah. Or they can give us another story where Clifford is now some kind of hero to the world, not just a symbol that anyone that no one should be judged. But what if now Clifford is also a hero since he saved someone's life in the first movie, and now he's become a hero because he's a giant dog. So if someone is about to get ran over by a car, Clifford can just stop the car by getting in the middle of the street, and that's how he saves the day. I think they should incorporate that into a sequel as well, or another movie in the Clifford movie franchise. So yeah, so my point here is that what they can do with a sequel and an entire Clifford movie franchise, it's limitless because they have a lot of books that they can base another live action movie out of. They could also base another live action movie off of some episodes of the show and make an entire franchise out of it. Maybe a couple of movies, like 4 or 5 movies. I could do with 5 or 6. I just love the first movie so much. And, well, I think this is the most important reason right here. Not just because of how good the plot was, or the characters, or how much it feels like Clifford, or anything that I said before. Those are good reasons too, but the main reason why I think this should get a sequel, it's not just because I think it's cute and because the characters were great, but also because there's more stories they can tell. And if people didn't like the first Clifford movie, who knows? Maybe if Paramount makes a sequel, maybe they'll like the sequel more than the first one. And then it could actually become successful. A good example of this is when the very first design of Movie Sonic came out. When the first trailer came out with the old design of Sonic, people didn't like it and they thought the movie was going to be bad. But then Paramount fixed the design and they actually ended up liking the Sonic movie because they got a new design that actually looks like Sonic. And I'm not saying they should change Clifford's design because Clifford's design is just fine. They shouldn't change anything about it. But my point is that if people didn't like the first movie, if Paramount keeps it going, they could not only make the people happy, the people who already actually liked the first Clifford movie, like me. I didn't have a problem at all with the Clifford movie. But they if they keep it going, they could also make the people who didn't like the first Clifford movie happy with a sequel or a third movie. So yeah, if Paramount keeps it going, the people who didn't like the first movie might like the second one. Who knows? I'll probably end up liking all the movies if they make more movies in the Clifford franchise because Clifford was great in live action, and they should definitely keep it going, and they should definitely tell more stories like these that I'm showing right here. So yeah, those are my 5 reasons why I think Clifford the Big Red Dog should get a sequel. And let me know if you guys agree with me on these 5 reasons because um, I I just really wish there was a petition that someone can start so Paramount can make a Clifford movie sequel because I really need a sequel of this movie. It was adorable. It was the cutest movie I've ever seen. It was beautiful. The plot was great. The characters were adorable and exciting. And this movie made me really happy. It was my second most favorite movie other than Spider-Man No Way Home. And I really enjoyed the other movies that I've talked about on this channel that just came out, like Sing 2 and Hotel Transylvania 4. But this movie, Clifford the Big Red Dog, deserves to get more love. especially because the Rotten Tomato score that it got. I wasn't happy about the score because I really thought that a lot more people would actually like this movie. But unfortunately, most people didn't like it. Some people did, um, but some people actually want a sequel to this, like me. But most people didn't like it for some reason. I think it's because it's either the design, which I definitely don't have a problem with, but for some reason, other people didn't like the design, or maybe it's the plot. But I personally thought the first Clifford movie was great, and once again, I just want to give a special message to Paramount Pictures, which I don't think Paramount is watching this video, but um, just in case, Paramount, if you're watching this video, please, please make a sequel of Clifford the Big Red Dog. This movie was absolutely beautiful and it deserves a sequel. So I really hope it happens. Anyways, let me know if you guys liked the Clifford movie. Let me know if you did. If you didn't think it was perfect enough, let me know if you at least enjoyed it in a small amount. And let me know if you guys agree with my top five. Or let me know if you guys agree with my 5 reasons. And yeah. And most importantly, let me know if you guys want a sequel of the Clifford movie because I desperately need a sequel of this and many more. So, yeah. Anyways, that's all for this video, and as always, stay cool.